All right, this is going to be Module 5. And so I'm going to jump over to our Module 5 and take a look at that topic and do a brief explanation of that. So Module, ooh, why did it kick me to that? Uh-oh. Module 5 does not exist. That's not good. Let me find it over here then. I'm going to come down here. Module 5. And I'm going to bring it up this way. I'll have to find out why it didn't link to the other page, although I can just type it over there. Okay, so Module 5 is a module on poverty and how that affects education. So going through just some pictures of some youth and students, and then just some stats to kind of give you an idea of, although I'm sure you're well aware of it, just the sheer number of students that, and even just focusing on homeless. 270,000 students experienced, that was in the 2012-2013 school year. Almost 21% of the students in that time were students, or homeless were students. So when you start throwing in moving between unstable housing, the lack of access to basic needs, showers, transportation, food, it gets very difficult to focus on your education. Kind of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Safety, you know, food and safety is going to be basic before you can even start moving up to making yourself available for education, learning, and making growth social, emotional, and academically. So just some notes on here. Federal protections. The federal protections for homeless students really came into place 2001, and then also with the reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Schools Act of 1994, or 1964. It's actually 64 and 65. I think I have it 65 in the first one, but referring to the same act. So we're going to focus on poverty and homelessness coming through. I have poverty in education, and then poverty and best practices, some notes on California homeless students, and then study of poverty and the effects on education. So Module 5 discussion is going to follow the same format of that. And then the equity audit component that we'd be working on this week or turning in this week is going to be actually doing your data analysis plan and data analysis. So on this one, students will identify at least one research question based upon the identified data that you were able to pick up in Module 4, and then answer that question using the appropriate statistics or qualitative data analysis technique. This is something that I will upload as we get closer to this. I will work with you on. Working on that research question, and I was excited to know that you guys have taken Dr. Trace for your statistics class. I use a lot of the same materials, and so the research questions that you would have developed for her, say practicing on a dependent sample t-test, that is the same research format and questioning that I teach, and the same method that I go through. And so I can work with you on what's going to be the appropriate research question and what might be the appropriate statistic to answer that. You can go, I say at least one research question. I wouldn't do more than probably 3. And the reason why I say that is just because you have to be careful. You can end up asking, 14 research questions, and it that almost at some point is overkill. There's a lot of times when we can get data and using a little higher order statistics, say a factorial ANOVA, that we can drill down and really have one question answer potentially a whole group of questions. And then from a qualitative standpoint, looking at just exploring, so if I was doing something on teachers' opinions, the qualitative question may be something in lines of exploring teachers' perceptions of trauma-informed practices. And I can tell you, I'm going to edit this when I come back. I'm going to make it at least 2 questions. One question will be quantitative and one will be qualitative. And so I'm going to go through and you're going to watch me edit that. Just so I have it, because that's what was supposed to be in there. At least 2 research questions based upon the identified data, and answer those questions. Those questions using the appropriate statistic or qualitative data analysis. One question, should it be quantitative? And 1 qualitative. That's 1 to 2 pages. And kind of getting into that, what I'll tell you from my, I'm going to save this so it's there. Going through the nice part of the mixed methods is the statistical component will give you really the strength of the analysis and give you the generalizability of what you're looking at. The qualitative component really gives you a deep, kind of a thick description, deep understanding, and puts context into what you're looking at. And those 2 things go nicely together. And again, I haven't seen the outputs that you guys did for your program evaluation class with Dr. Wise, but my guess is that it was very, you had a mixed methods approach to that. So that will be the intro to Module 5, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you are getting knee-deep into your equity audit project.